John, Anik, and Kenny Florian podcast. John, Anik, and Kenny Florian.
I f***ing love him. I can't get enough of him.
Let's hear that Boston next.
Big jab there from Duffy, and Frank Mir is hurt now. Down goes Duffy, out cold. Frank Mir does it again. Rock'em sock'em robots here. Oh my goodness.
Hyperbole. There are a couple of absolutely self-involved bullshit artists.
Here are your hosts, John, Anik, and Kenny Florian.
Headshot, bang, oh, done.
Just having a little bit of fun. Everybody's so sensitive, right? And my twin brother's going to be like, you're fucking sensitive, you know? But hopefully Kurt can still take a joke. He certainly could take a joke back in the day. Gosh, can you imagine, though? I got to sit through that wedding and they call Pellegrino's number Cody instead of mine, you know? Dude looks like he's been on a bus in Alaska eating poisonous plants. I'm dressed to the nines.
What was he going to have? I was going to have Pellegrino announce us when we came in. I mean, come on. I got to, you know.
Right. You just speak the way you need him. Yeah, that's good.
I would have used you 3 different ways if I could.
Man. No, I just have fun with that. All right, so these UFC fight nights are going to keep on coming this weekend. It is UFC Fight Night. Pavlovich versus Blaydes, live from the UFC Apex. To that end, let's get to the main event challenge.
It's the main event challenge. Anik.
The time is most definitely now.
Florian.
I finish fights. I'm going to do everything possible to win.
The main event challenge. The John, Anik, and Kenny Florian podcast.
You got a bad mood. We got the cure. Big Gun Brian Petrie with us for the main event challenge. I do believe if I was in a really bad mood, you'd probably be one of my first phone calls. I might even FaceTime just to see that jovial fucking mug, you know?
I appreciate that. You got a couple friends of mine calling me Billy now from last podcast, so I appreciate that a little bit there. They call me Billy Big Gun. So thank you, Johnny. I'll take it. Hey. I'll take it any kind of way I can get it.
So we appreciate everybody dealing with me through my technical difficulties over the last several weeks. I'm trying to move into a studio, hopefully within the next couple of months. But anybody who thought that I was so rudely cutting off Ken Flo during the main event challenge last week, it was nothing more than an audio issue. I assure you, I would not cut off a man as dangerous as that multiple times over. We did repurpose the main event challenge on the DraftKings YouTube channel, if indeed you wanted to ingest that in its totality, to see how poorly these guys did last week as we update the standings. Petrie 2-4, Ken Flo 2-4. Am I right?
Yeah.
I'm always nervous. I'm going to screw it up.
I guess.
Billy Petrie had a nice hit on Pedro Munoz, plus 180.
Nice.
Otherwise, fairly forgettable week. Minus 270. Your total nut, minus 2855. Ken Flo's highlight, the hit on Azamat Mirzakhanov, plus 155. But Ken Flo did take losses on Clay Guida, Tanner Bozer, Chris Gutierrez, and Billy Quarantello. So minus 325 for the week puts Ken Flo at minus 570 overall. By the way, how about Clay Guida? Mr. Congeniality he may be, but try to hijack the entire broadcast after being on the wrong end of a 30-27 times 3. Brian Petrie, your thoughts on that?
I thought Dana said it best. I'm like, oh shit, we're getting another retirement. He took his gloves off. You know, he's 41. You expect it. And he goes, no, I just want to say happy birthday to whoever. And I thought Dana handled that great. He's like, dude, we're running a live show here, my guy. Like, what are you doing? And then I kind of love Bill Algio's like weird retirement just to kind of dig at KC a little bit. You know, KC's Cincinnati's rivals now too. They just beat Philly in the Super Bowl. So I kind of love the KC dig there. Went a little heel turn on us, which I love.
Well, and again, people are talking about Bill Algio. It was a great performance. It was the fight of the night, but people by and large are talking about Billy Algio because of the post-fight interview. All right. First fight for us. Welterweight banger to kick off the main card. Jeremiah Wells, minus 135. Matthew Semmelsberger, plus 115. Those Semmelsberger football highlights hit hard. Used to hit like a truck as a strong safety for Marist. He's won 3 of 4, coming off a big win over Jake Matthews last December. Wells on the other side, 3-0 in the UFC with as many stoppage wins. Wells, Billy. Wells, Brian, 11-2-1 overall, but he is 36 years old, so time is of the essence. How do you handicap this one, Wells and Semmelsberger?
Listen, I like Jeremiah Wells. He's from that Philly crew. That Philly crew's popping right now with, Pat Sabatini. You got Sean Brady, and he's another one. He came to the UFC a little late, and I'm not sure if he started MMA late or not, but 3-0 in UFC, knocking out Court McGee, not a fucking easy thing to do. That dude's tough. And he got Semmelsberger, Semi the Jedi, Frederick Maryland, stand up. You got one. I think this kid's good. I really do. The Chaos Williams fight, he took 91 shots, didn't drop down. Chaos Williams knocks out horses on the weekend. I mean, the dude can hit like a tank. And then you got the Jake Matthews fight where Jake Matthews went against Andre Fijo, and that was the best Matthews we've seen. I was like, holy shit, this is the guy we've been waiting for. Goes in against Semmelsberger as a decent little favorite. Of course, I put all my money on Jake Matthews, and Semmelsberger rises up, hits hard. He's athletic. His grappling's good. I don't think Jeremiah Wells is the best wrestler. I think he's good on the ground, good rear naked choke. He is a finisher, but I just see Semmelsberger being too big and too athletic to really get it to the ground. And as long as his volume is up, because sometimes he does kind of watch a little bit, as long as his volume up, I'll take Semmelsberger here at that dog price. I like it. It's a little puppy dog, just a little puppy dog, not a juicy dog, but I'll take Semmelsberger.
Ken Flo, Jeremiah Wells, Matthew Semmelsberger. Who do you like?
Yeah, I like Semmelsberger as well, man. Like BP said, that last fight kind of sold me. So I'm going to keep it short and sweet, going with Semmelsberger as well.
All right, next up at lightweight, and I will admit to being absolutely floored by how wide this price is. It's come down a little. Mm-hmm. Bobby King Green minus 280, Jared Flash Gordon plus 235, UFC appearance number 21 for the King, who can now lay claim to more than 10 years on the UFC roster. Gordon on the other side, really, Brian, should have won 5 of his last 6, but instead he was on the wrong end of that Paddy Pimblett split. So now he's lost 2 of his last 3. Big spot for Jared Gordon as underdog. Who do you like at 155 pounds?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head. When this price opened, you're like, wait, what? What's going on here? And then the props aren't out yet, but if you get Jared Gordon by decision, that's going to be 4 or 5 to 1. If you're a value guy, put a 25 spot right there, get $100, a quick honey. But I'm kind of trying to switch things up because I'm a little cold. So I took away the numbers and I went down the fighting and what skill versus skill here. And Jared Gordon is a very talented fighter. He's a pressure fighter. He can get you down the Paddy fight. I felt like if you would have done more on the ground, I thought it would have been a clear cut decision for him. I felt like takedowns, just getting a takedown is not enough anymore. You got to show some damage. You got to do things. Bobby Green does have some good takedown offense. Don't let it fool you. This guy is some good takedown offense. He's coming off a fight with Drew Dober where he hurt Drew Dober a few times. A guy who was a volume puncher is all starting to find a little bit of power. Then you got clipped by Dober. Before that, he fought Islam, made a bag. Short notice. What are you going to do with Islam? But before that, you got Nasrat Haqparast, where he pieced him up 116, and then he knocked out Ali Quinta, which I know Ali Quinta that wasn't the real Raging Al, but still, that's a finish win. And Bobby's slick in there, man. He likes to put his back against the cage, and he's very slick, and I like that. And Jared Gordon has been knocked out before, 3 times in the UFC. The one thing, though, when I'm breaking down this fight is there seems to be a little bit of a cloud over Jared Gordon, right? And this could be a good thing or a bad thing. The Paddy fight is kind of hovering over him. Paddy called him out from the hospital bed. Now, either that's going to motivate him to want to get that one back, or he's like, I just want a Paddy fight. Fuck all this. My confidence is there. I know he works hard, but Bobby Green's tricky. The line is super wide. I'm going Bobby Green, though. Going Bobby Green.
And I remind our Anik Florian podcast viewers and listeners that these gentlemen can abstain from picking a fight. They just have to pick the main event. Jared Gordon plus 235, Bobby Green minus 280. Kenny Florian, who do you have?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that was a great breakdown and a great background on the fight and the fighters. Jared Gordon is a tough dude, man. I think where he'll be at a disadvantage, though, greatly in this fight is in the speed category. Bobby Green's going to be way faster here. I also think that Jared Gordon, while he's getting much better at takedowns, I don't know if it's enough to be able to take down Bobby Green consistently, keep him there, get good position, and be a legit threat. I think that would be the path to victory here because Bobby Green isn't known for his ground game, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to take him down and keep him down. So I like Bobby Green here as well. I think this fight will probably stay on the feet. I think a tough Jared Gordon will outlast him probably to the end, but Bobby Green certainly has pop in those punches, so watch out there. But I like Green here as well.
And a ton of experience for Bobby Green. 3 more appearances last year. Lost to Islam Makhachev and, of course, Drew Dober to close out his 2022. All right. Featured bout at middleweight. Brad Tavares minus 155. Bruno Silva plus 135. 22nd UFC appearance for Brad Tavares, coming off, Bri, pretty brutal loss to Dracus du Plessis last July. Tavares then pulled out of a scheduled bout versus Gregory Rodriguez. That was to be in Rio back in January. On the other side, Bruno Silva, somewhat underappreciated, most famous for fighting Alex Pereira to a decision. That was 13 months ago. Then he was submitted by GM3 last August. So now Silva trying to avoid a third straight L here, BP. Who do you have?
Yeah, I love this fight. Brad Tavares mixes up well, but he's not. You look at his last two fights, he hasn't really attempted takedowns. In the Justice du Plessis fight, he got dropped 3 times. He got rocked a lot in that fight. He's just so tough. I mean, and then you got Bruno Silva, who was kind of the guy coming in. This dude touches you, he puts you out. He fought Pereira, who some people out there maybe think he won that fight. I did not, but it was a close fight. He went to a decision with Pereira, but then he just looks like a dud against GM3, and that's what GM3 kind of does. Either he's not on or he's on, and he was piecing up Silva on the feet, and then obviously took him to the ground and submitted. And Silva's cardio lacked a little bit. I think this is do or die for Silva. I think if he loses this one, that's 3 in a row. I think the UFC is going to go, you know what? You maybe aren't who we thought you are. Go win somewhere else and come back. That's what I think. He's an exciting fighter. He punches. He has big punching power. And that's what's the deciding factor here. I'm surprised he's a dog here. So I'm taking Silva because Brad Tavares, even though he's only 35, he's been in the UFC for a long time, a lot of miles on him. And du Plessis, who I don't think is the biggest power punch in the world, rocked him as many times. I think if Silva touches him, it's going to be a problem. So give me Silva in this fight.
Ken Flo, 19 career wins by knockout or TKO for Bruno Silva, who I also believe is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. How do you handicap his chances here as an underdog against the UFC credentialed and tested Brad Tavares?
Yeah, that one with Silva was a hard one for me to wrap my head around, because the one thing I was thinking, I was like, is he injured? Is something going on? What the heck's going on?
Oh, when he fought Alex.
No, GM3.
Oh,
Mershard.
when Bruno Silva fought Mershard. Okay.
Mershard,
yeah.
Got it.
So that was a little confusing. But yeah, no, I thought he had a great fight against Pereira. I do not think he won that fight, but I do think he fought really well. And I was like, man, this kid is tough. Tavares, he's been pretty consistent inconsistent besides, his like run in probably 2012, 2013, where he had some consistency. He's one of those guys that is very difficult to bet for or against. I think he can win this fight. But I think if we see a Silva that is motivated, that feels like he needs to have a great performance and is healthy, I think Silva wins that one too. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Silva here. I don't know. With Tavares, it's tough. It's tough to go against him just because he's a very good striker and he's tough. But I like Silva here.
All right, both guys like Silva at plus money this weekend. UFC Fight Night Live on ESPN Plus. We'll have Petrie lead the co-main event, and then Ken Flo will lead us on what is a huge fight at heavyweight to close the proceedings today. Co-main event first, though, at bantamweight. Ricky Simone minus 140, Song Yadong plus 120. Simone might just be my favorite fighter on the roster to watch, Bri. Just all offense all the time. Humbled Jack Shore in his last fight. Took his O with relative ease. He's won 5 in a row, yet still just number 10 in the world because of the depth in this division. Kind of needs Merab Dvalishvili to be champion. That would lay the foundation for a rematch. But Song Yadong on the other side, still only 25. Lost to Corey Sandhagen in his last fight. It was a main event last September. You going Ricky Simone, slight favorite here against Song Yadong.
Did Song Yadong start fighting UFC when he's 12? I mean, this guy's been around. He's only 25. It's crazy. And you hit the nail on the head, John. I love me some Ricky Simone. Don't call him Simon. It's Simone, baby. This dude legitimately could almost be. I mean, listen. Let's cut the bullshit, right? The reason he's ranked the way he is, and the reason he's not getting talked about, is he got knocked out by Uriah Faber. Right? He got knocked out in the first round by a 40-year-old Uriah Faber. Got caught, got knocked out, rebounded off that with a loss over Rob Font, which is no shame. Rob Font's a stud. The Merab fight was kind of murky waters, whatever that referee is, let's not bring that up because we don't get ready to pop on here. But this dude is legit. Like, his wrestling is good. His grappling is really good. He's so heavy on top. He smothered and outclassed Jack Shore on the ground. And Jack Shore is supposed to be the guy on the ground. And Simone's doing this by putting punches together. He's finally finding his hands. Knocked out Rafael Assunção, which is a good feather in his cap. I mean, this guy legitimately should be top 5 talent, in my opinion. He's going Song Yadong. You look good against Corey Sandhagen, which is a step behind. I think Simone, I know Song Yadong does have good takedown defense. He's training with Team Alpha Male. Team Alpha Male's prepared for Simone before, but I think this pace is too much for Simone. I love this number 2 at -130. This is going to be a hammer spot for your boy. I'm not going to go too crazy because I'm down a little bit, but I'm going to go an extra uni on Simone because we need it, babe. We need it. And I think he's going to win by decision. Song's a tough dude, but I just think Simone's going to pull it out. I think he's better everywhere. Maybe lacks a little bit of the power, but give me Ricky Simone.
All right, so Brian Petrie, pretty bullish on Ricky Simone's chances. So when my twin brother Jason calls my cell phone, the song that plays is, you're as cold as ice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Petrie better get hotter. We're going to have to have that be your ringtone as well.
That's
my
fine.
brother's like my brother's perpetually frozen like Elsa when it comes to the sports book. So he's always cold as ice. Ken Flo, co-main event. Who do you have?
Oh, man, I got excited. I thought he was going to go with Yadong there at the very end. But, I like Ricky Simone here as well. Here we are going the same freaking picks here, so I'm sorry about that. But, Simone is he's a bad matchup for Yadong. I think he takes him down, and I think he wins this fight either by decision or by some kind of TKO. So Song is going to have issues with the grappling. I think he's going to be dangerous on the feet. I think don't sleep on him on the feet if Simone decides to stand up with him. But I think Ricky takes him down and wins this one.
By the way, this Anik Florian Podcast Parlay that has been featured on DraftKings Sportsbook, and a lot of people playing that, and we really appreciate it. Even if it's a minimum wager, it means a lot. You guys don't consult me at all. Like, this would be one thing that maybe I could get in on, like off the record, behind the scene. You guys don't consult me like at all. So, just throwing that out there.
What are we 1 for 3 on those parlays so far?
Yes.
Is that the deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
But these are
We got to step
long
up our
shot
game.
bets.
These are long. These aren't like parlays.
Yeah, no.
I mean, we're giving them over +4 every time, 4 to 1 on your money and more.
Yeah, these are long shot parlays,
Yeah.
but that's neither here nor there. All right, let's get into this main event, guys. So I was on Sergey Pavlovich's Wikipedia page this morning, and there's a section about ape index, Kenny. Basically, it's your height relative to your reach. So that Sergey Pavlovich has like the best ape index of any UFC heavyweight, that he's 6'3", but his reach is 84 inches, which is John Jones's reach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My twin brother actually measured our reach. He did it for us because we got the same reach. We got the same reach as DC, 72 inches. So I think we got a pretty good ape index based upon our height.
There we go.
But I thought it was kind of interesting that Pavlovich has this much reach on Curtis Blaydes, about 4 inches, and his hands are fast as hell. Betting line is Curtis Blaydes right now, -170 on DraftKings Sportsbook. Sergey Pavlovich +145. Ken Flo, Blaydes has won 3 in a row, 7 out of 8. I think he might be the best heavyweight of all time to have never fought for the belt, right? I mean, when is Curtis Blaydes going to realize a title fight? Pavlovich also closing in fast on a potential title fight of his own, Kenny. He's reeled off 5 straight wins since dropping his debut to Alistair Overeem back in 2018 in China. Huge spot for Pavlovich against Curtis Blaydes. Who wins the heavyweight main event, Ken Flo?
You're looking at a 74.5-inch reach over here, boys. I could touch you from here. Let's go. All right, here we go. So, listen, this is an interesting fight, man. This is a very tricky one. I think Curtis Blaydes, when he's on his game, man, watch out. I think he has been reinvigorated. He's obviously working on his overall skills. I think he's dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous on the ground. If he puts you on your back, good night. He's got great ground and pound, and improving skills everywhere on the feet. So this is tricky, but Pavlovich is an absolute animal. He really hasn't been challenged at this point. And if I'm looking at it, I'm going, well, striking, I don't think Curtis Blaydes wants to be there. Is there anything in his grappling game? Does he have a grappling game? Like, yeah, he's got a wrestling background as well, and he's Russian. And, the Russians are, traditionally the best wrestlers in the world year after year. It's either them or the Iranians or the Americans, so they have that rich wrestling culture. He's going to be preparing for that. And, you talk about his physical attributes, that reach, that power, that speed. I don't know, man. This could be a future champ, and I think this is a great measuring tool to see where he's at. Give me the Russian guy.
Wow.
Whoa.
That was well executed, Ken Flo. And I would also point out that Sergey Pavlovich was the backup for John Jones and Cedal Gane at UFC 285 in March.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oftentimes that doesn't mean everything, but it means something. It means something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Curtis Blaydes even got a phone call to be a backup, but Pavlovich was the guy. Bri, Billy Petrie, whatever your name is. Ken Flo thinks that that Pavlovich is going to cash this weekend. And we need a prediction from you.
I like Ivan Drago over here at the plus money. That's a great number, but your boy needs to go opposite Ken Flo. So I got to go Blaydes. I have a thing in my notebook here that says quit fading Curtis Blaydes, because that's all I seem to do, and all he fucking does is win, right? He's got 3 losses, 2 to the same guy, once by Derek Lewis. The guy has a trouble dealing with power punchers. However, Pavlovich, even though outside of UFC, he fought a lot of Sambo guys, a lot of good Russian wrestlers, and handled them well, Alistair Overeem got him down with a kind of a Michael Bisping cheeky takedown, right? It wasn't the best takedown. Kind of got him down and then finished him on the mat. If Curtis Blaydes can take him down and did what he did to Alistair Overeem, massacre him, butcher him on the ground, that's what I want to see. Blaydes is starting to feel himself. His hands look quick. I know we only got to see a little bit on the Tommy Aspinall fight, but he looked super fast. And he said it best in Columbus when he fought Dawkins. He said, everyone thinks I'm going to wrestle. Now I'm going to start striking and mix it up. I think Pavlovich hasn't really fought anybody since Overeem that's willing or wanting to take him down. He gets all these first-round knockouts. What does he look like in the second round? What does he look like in the third round? A lot of guys haven't seen that yet. I think Curtis Blaydes is the guy to do that. Give me Blaydes. I also think Blaydes might be the hardest matchup for John Jones at heavyweight, considering the wrestling pedigree. Who's out wrestled Curtis Blaydes? You know, John Jones is a big, strong dude. Maybe they won't take it there, but yeah, I want to see Curtis Blaydes get a title shot one of these days. The guy's putting in work, and give me Blaydes opposite Flo, even though I like the number on the Russian. Yeah,
if Curtis Blaydes beats Sergey Pavlovich and Tom Aspinall is closing fast, looks like maybe July will be his return, but gotta think Blaydes is going to find himself in a championship setting if he can get it done this weekend. All right, if you want more from Brian Petrie on Twitter at Brian Petrie MMA, also the MMA Takes podcast is his individual show. And I just would like to say in closing, on behalf of this Anik Florian podcast family, I know it's been a heavy week for the Petrie clan.
Yes.
And specifically, I just wanted to acknowledge your mother, who has just dealt with a lot, and my condolences to the family. We've been thinking about you, and you're a real soldier for coming on with us today. So we appreciate you, brother.
No, I appreciate every single Anik Florian listener who is now following me. I got a million DMs and nice messages, and the 3 of you guys, Cody, Kenny, and John, all sending me nice messages means a lot. You know, this show is very important to me. You guys are important to me. I know it's so corny to say, oh, it's like family, because I've only really met John, twice. But this is family to me. I have a small family. I keep my inner circle small, so it feels really good to have support when stuff like this happens, and it means the world to me, guys. I really appreciate it.
My man. You'll always have that support. All right, Brian Petrie, we'll talk to you next week with us for the main event challenge. And I would also acknowledge our producer, Cody Merrow, that keeps this Anik Florian podcast family as tight-knit as it is, communicating with Ray and with Petrie and alerting me and Kenny over the weekend to what had happened with Brian's sister. So I just wanted to acknowledge Cody in closing as well. All right, AnikFlorianPodcast.com is live. Merchandise can be had there. I don't know where you find those Yo Fucking Later designs, but those are probably out there somewhere. One More Sleep designs at millions.co, KennyFlorianMartialArts.com if you want to follow everything that Ken Flo's got going on. And I just want to say, as a little kicker on the way out, according to Renzo and Royler Gracie, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the red belt is reserved for those whose influence and fame takes them to the pinnacle of the art. It is awarded in lieu of a 9th and 10th degree black belt. If a practitioner receives his or her black belt at 19, the earliest they could expect to receive a 9th degree red belt would be at the age of 67. So there you go, Ken Flo.
Amazing.
All right. All right. Thank you to our guests, Francis Marshall, Ray Longo, Brian Petrie. Our producer is Cody Merrow. We are back next Monday. We'll see if Sergey Pavlovich or Curtis Blaydes remains the heavyweight contender, and also get you ready for another UFC fight night later in the month. Thank you all for listening, for watching. Tell your friends. Let's grow the show. For Ken Flo, I'm John Anik. We will talk to you in less than 7 days. Until then, yo, fucking late.